Hello everyone, welcome again in today's my class. In today's class, we will proceed um, next topic of our history chapter 2, that is socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. And in today's video, in this chapter, we will discuss topic about the Russian Revolution. So first, I will discuss about with you the Russian Revolution. Okay, so in the October Revolution of 1917, socialists took over the government in Russia. The fall of monarchy in February 1970 and the events of October were termed as the Russian Revolution. So in 1914, Nicholas II ruled the Russian Empire. The Russian Empire included territory around Moscow, current-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. Okay. So in 1914, Russia was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II and its empire. The Russian Empire included current-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus, stretching the Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states, as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Majority of the population was Russian Orthodox Christianity, which had grown out of the Greek Orthodox Church, but the empire also included Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. Okay. So the economy and society during Russian Empire. About 85% of the Russian Empire's population and their living from agriculture. The industry was limited in number. Workers were divided into groups, but they did unite to strike work when they were dissatisfied. Peasants had no respect for nobility, very unlike the French peasants. Peasant. Russian peasants were the only peasant community which pooled their land and their commune divided it. So economy and society during Russian Empire. So condition is in this society at the beginning of the 20th century. Russian population was dominated by agriculturalists who used to cultivate for the market as well as for their own needs. St. Petersburg and Moscow were prominent industrial areas. Craftsmen undertook much of the production, but large factories exist alongside craft workshops. In the 1890s, more factories were set up after the foreign investment in industry increased. Large factories were supervised by the government to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. Workers were a divided social group. They were also divided by their skill. Despite divisions, workers united to stop work when they disagreed with employers about dismissals or work conditions. Peasants cultivated most of the land, but the nobility, the crown, and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. Nobles got power and position through their services to the Tsar. In Russia, peasants wanted the land of the nobles. Russian peasants were different from other European peasants in another way. They pooled their land together periodically and their commune divided it according to the needs of individual families. Next, we will discuss topic about socialism in Russia. So, all political parties were illegal in Russia before 1914. In 1900, the Russian Socialist Democratic Labour Party was formed. It struggled to give peasants their rights over land that belonged to the to nobles. As land was divided among peasants periodically, and it was felt that peasants and not workers would be the main source of the revolution. But Lenin did not agree with this, as he felt that peasants were not one social group. The party was divided into Bolshevik and Mensheviks. Lenin led Bolshevik group. So, in this topic, socialism in Russia, political parties in Russia were legal before 1914. In 1898, socialists founded the Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party, who respected Marx's ideas. Some Russian socialists felt that the Russian peasants' custom of dividing land periodically made them natural socialists. Throughout the 19th century, socialists were active in the countryside and formed the Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. The party struggled for peasants' rights and demanded land belonging to nobles be transferred to peasants. The party was divided over the strategy of organization. According to Vladimir Lenin, in a repressive society like Russia, the party should be disciplined and should control the number and quality of its members. Mensheviks thought that the party should be open to all. So, here today's all topic is completed. I hope you all understood very well. Next topic of this chapter, a turbulent time, the 1905 revolution, will be discussed in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.